Welcome everybody to this Kotlin tutorial. Today I'm going to explain you how you can use module when developing for Kotlin JavaScript for the browser, and how it's working and why you should use it. So we are going to create a project with two modules and to see how it's working and what are the options. So first of all, we are going to create a new project. So this project is a Kotlin project with the Kotlin JavaScript flavor. The name of the project will be kotlin-js, and I don't keep the default, which is by default IntelliJ IDE keep the first module in the root of the project. So here I'm going to create the module A. So there will be a module A directory with the content root, and I click to finish on finish, and here is my structure. So now I'm creating a package. The package will be kotlin-js module A. Okay, and in that package I create a first file, module A file. Okay, and there will be a single method which will be the entry point of the application. So it will be a main function, and I'm just going to have a println hello from module A. Okay, I compile the project. Okay, it's finished, and we are going to have a look at what has been created by the compilation. So in the compile output path, I have my module with a module A JS file and a lib directory with kotlin-js inside it. So we can see that my module A is quite small, but I've got this kotlin-js JavaScript file, which is big. It's 1.3 megabytes. So kotlin-js is the runtime of Kotlin. When you developed in Kotlin, you have a lot of library functions, classes. You have all the collections, API, and stuff like that. And to bring that into the browser, you need this library, which contains all of it. And we can have a look at our module A JavaScript file. And we see here that we have our code, the main function with the println hello from module A. And this code is embedded in this variable module A. And this variable is a global variable. So we have to use that to launch our project. Okay, we are going to create now an HTML file that will contain this script. So first I will create a new directory. So it will be static, and I add this directory as a resources directory. Okay, now I create an HTML file, module A. Okay, and I will load my script. So script src, and it will be module a.js, and I need to start my code. So another script tag, and here I'm going to use the global variable, so it's module A. I must use the package name kotlin-js module A, and then I can call my main function. So this should work. There will be an error, but I will show you after. So we're going to go back to the compilation repository directory. So here I have my module A HTML file, and we're going to have a look of what's happening. I do a refresh. So I have my module A that is loaded, and in the console I see that the dependency Kotlin was not found. We have to load it before module A. So as you remember, the kotlin-js is in the lib directory. So I will add in the code here, before the loading of module A, I will load the kotlin-js library. So I compile, and now we see that the code is working. Okay, fine. So now we are going to create another module. So I create it here, new module. It's a Kotlin JavaScript module. The name is module B, Kotlin JavaScript. Okay, apply, and I've got here my module, and I'm going to create another package, kotlin-js module B, and another file, module B, and it will have only a single method, which will be module name, and it will return module B. Now I'm going to call that code from the module A. So I go back to module A, and here I do a call on module name. So for the moment there is no dependency between the module A and the module B, so we have to add the dependency. So on module A, I go in the dependency window and add a module dependency on module B. Okay, and now I have code completion, and I import the function module name. So we can just try to run it after the compilation, just to see that module B was not found. Check whether module B is loaded prior to module A. So here we have the structure of the compilation is not very easy to use, because each module has its own directory. So we are going to change that, and again we go back in the project structure window, and we are going to change the path. So here I changed the compile output path, and I remove the module A, and I do the same for module B. Okay, I rebuild the project, and that way we'll have a structure more simple. And now I have module A and module B that are in the same directory. So I can launch my project again, my application, and okay, I didn't add the module B in my HTML file, so go back to the module A and say, okay, now I want to load also the module B, compile, And okay, it's working. We have the code from module A calling module B that it's working, so it's okay. Just to show you something, if I change the order of the module, and I do that, I try to load first module B, I recompile it, and here you'll see that we have a problem in the module dependencies. When the code tries to launch module B, it sees that there is no Kotlin module, so it said, okay, you must have Kotlin loaded before module B. So it's working, but there is this drawback, which is you have to manually manage the order of the different modules. So, and there is another problem is it's that the global namespace is polluted by these variables, this global variable like module A, module B, which will be in the global namespace. So there is another option, and the Kotlin to JavaScript compiler has some options, and we are going to change that. We go to Preferences, Compiler. Here we have our Kotlin compiler, and the Kotlin to JavaScript settings has this module kind. So by default it's set to plain, but you can choose AMD. So what is AMD? You will find information on require.js.org website, and it's a specification and a pattern on how you should load your libraries in the browser, and to allow this this asynchronous loading and this pattern to separate the code of your different libraries. So we are going to use it, and using it we can remove all the manually loaded code, the code for manually loading our libraries, and we only keep this require.js library. So I copy that, say okay, now I just have require.js script. I'm going to rebuild my project just to have a look at the generated code. And now if I go to module A, I see that the generated code has changed, and now it uses this definition, and it defines a module A and with a dependency of module A. Okay, so I'm going to try to run my no, I have some modification to do. So here now I have a require object, and with this object I'm going to say okay, require and I must give my so require module A, and it has function parameter with module A, and now I can execute my code here. Okay. Okay, it's module A. Recompile it, and I'm going to execute it. So, and here we see that when loading the page, the require script was loaded after module A, and it tried to load the kotlin-js, but in the same directory, in the same path. So we have to change that to say, okay, kotlin-js is in another path. So we have for that a configuration object to tell that. So we say, okay, require config, and we give an object with a path variable which contains, okay, for the Kotlin library, you should find it in Kotlin in lib/Kotlin. Okay, I will recompile that, and okay, now we see that the kotlin.js is loading in the sub directory lib, and if we look at the code, we see that it's working again. So that's cool, it's working. So what is the main advantage of using require.js AMD? One of the main advantages is that you don't have to manually manage the dependency between your modules. So you just work in your code and say, okay, my module A has a dependency on module B, but after require.js will manage that fully, and it will look at the definition inside the modules to say, okay, I have to load module B before module A. So that's the first reason. The second one to use modules is that, well, you already know that splitting your code in modules with high cohesion and low coupling will help your long-term maintenance of your code. So I won't go further on that. But there is currently another big reason of doing that is because the current version of the Kotlin to JavaScript compiler does not do incremental compilation. So when your code is going to be bigger, when your code base will be bigger, your compile time will be longer. So for me, I always try to keep the development loop as short as possible. What I mean by development loop is you edit your code, you compile it, you run it, you test it, and then you go back to edit the code edition. So it's very important to keep that as short as possible, because it is what gives you this efficiency when you are developing. If you have to wait for, I don't know, maybe 15-20 seconds for the compilation, it starts to be really frustrating. So I try to keep that as short as possible. There is a bug on that. The Jetbird team is working on that, so it should be resolved in the next month. So it will no more. It will hopefully it will not be a problem anymore in few months. But for the moment, that's a good reason to use modules in when developing in Kotlin for JavaScript. So that's all for today. I hope that you learned some interesting stuff, and you can follow me on my Twitter account to be informed of a future video and future. Hi, bye, have a nice day.